In the vast and often frozen wilderness of northern Alaska, a remarkable discovery has been made. It's a story that takes us back in time, long before humans walked the earth, to an era when colossal dinosaurs roamed the land. Here, buried deep within the ancient rock, scientists have unearthed the fossilized remains of a fish. But this is not just any fish. This is the oldest known ancestor of the salmon, a creature that swam in Arctic rivers an astonishing 73 million years ago. This single discovery opens a window into a lost world, offering us a precious glimpse of life during the twilight of the dinosaurs, and honestly, challenging everything we thought we knew about the origins of one of the planet's most iconic fish. Imagine a world vastly different from our own. The continents were still drifting towards their present-day positions, and the climate was undergoing dramatic shifts. In this prehistoric landscape, herds of plant-eating dinosaurs, such as the duck-billed hadrosaurs, would have gathered along the riverbanks. Overhead, giant flying reptiles might have soared through the skies. It was in these very rivers, flowing through a primordial Arctic forest, that our ancient salmon lived. The discovery of its remains in the Prince Creek Formation, a layer of Earth known for its rich dinosaur fossils, places this fish squarely in one of the most fascinating periods of Earth's history, the Late Cretaceous. Finding a fossil is often a matter of patience, skill, and, honestly, a little bit of luck. For the paleontologists working in the harsh conditions of Alaska's North Slope, this is especially true. They were not searching for fish, but for the remains of the dinosaurs that once dominated this polar region. The team meticulously sifted through sediment, painstakingly examining every small fragment of bone. It is quiet, demanding work. The winds can be relentless, and the landscape, though beautiful, is unforgiving. Yet, it is in these moments of quiet concentration that the greatest discoveries are often made, revealing secrets that have been locked away in stone for millions upon millions of years. Among the countless fragments of rock and bone, something extraordinary began to emerge. These were not the large, heavy bones of a dinosaur. They were something far more delicate, far more subtle. The scientists, including Karen Clayson from the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine and her colleagues, realized they had stumbled upon the remains of a fish. As they carefully collected these tiny, fossilized pieces, a picture of an ancient aquatic world began to form. They could not have known it at the time, but they were on the verge of rewriting the evolutionary history of the salmon family, pushing back its origins by millions of years and connecting it directly to the age of dinosaurs. The process of uncovering these ancient secrets is one of immense care and precision. The scientists did not find a complete skeleton lying perfectly preserved. Instead, the fossils of this ancient salmon were scattered and fragmented, mixed in with the dirt and rock of the riverbed, where the creature died so long ago. The team had to use fine mesh screens to sift through tons of sediment, a technique known as screen washing. This method allows them to catch even the tiniest of fossils, pieces no larger than a grain of sand. Each potential fragment must be examined under a microscope, a slow and deliberate task that requires a keen eye, and honestly, boundless patience. It was during this painstaking process that the true nature of their find began to dawn on them. The small, delicate bones, fragments of skull, vertebrae, and fin rays were different from other fish fossils found in the area. They showed specific features, unique characteristics that pointed towards a very particular family of fish, the Salmonidae, the family that includes all modern salmon, trout, and char. This was the moment of revelation. They were not just looking at any ancient fish. They were looking at the earliest known member of a group that is so familiar and important to us today. The excitement in the research camp must have been palpable. The discovery was a collective effort, bringing together experts from various fields. Paleontologists, geologists, and anatomists all played a role in piecing together this prehistoric puzzle. Once the tiny bones were identified and carefully collected from the field, they were transported back to the laboratory for closer inspection. There, under the controlled environment of the lab, the real detective work could begin. Each bone fragment, no matter how small, held a clue. By comparing the shapes, sizes, and distinct markings on these fossils to the skeletons of modern fish, the team could start to build a picture of what this ancient creature looked like and how it lived. The location of the find, the Prince Creek Formation, is a world-renowned treasure trove of polar dinosaur fossils. It provides a detailed snapshot of an entire ecosystem that thrived in the high Arctic during the late Cretaceous period. Finding this salmonid ancestor here was particularly significant because it tells us that these fish were living alongside some of the last dinosaurs on Earth. It paints a more complete picture of this ancient environment, showing us that the rivers were just as full of life as the land. This fish was part of a complex food web, a vital component of a world on the brink of monumental change. Every significant discovery in the world of paleontology is given a scientific name, a unique identity that places it within the grand tree of life. The scientists honored the location of their find and its cultural heritage by naming this ancient fish Civuliosalmo alaskensis. The first part of the name, Civuliosalmo, is a beautiful combination of words. Civulic is an Inupiaq word meaning the first or ancestor, a fitting tribute to the indigenous people of the land where the fossil was found. The second part, salmo, is the Latin word for salmon. Together, they mean the first salmon. The species name alaskensis simply means from Alaska, forever linking this creature to the place it once called home. What makes Civuliosalmo alaskensis so incredibly special is its age. At 73 million years old, it is, by a huge margin, the oldest salmonid ever discovered. Before this find, the earliest known relative of salmon was a fossil found in British Columbia, Canada, which dated back around 50 million years. This new discovery pushes the evolutionary timeline of the entire salmon family back by more than 20 million years. It's a monumental leap, suggesting that the ancestors of salmon are far more ancient than we ever imagined. They did not appear after the dinosaurs vanished. They were swimming in the rivers right alongside them, carving out their existence in a very different world. This ancient fish was, in many ways, quite similar to the salmon we know today, yet it also had its differences. Based on the size of the fossilized bones, scientists estimate that Civuliosalmo could grow to be quite large, perhaps reaching over 2 feet in length, comparable to a modern chum salmon. It likely had a powerful, streamlined body, built for swimming in flowing river currents. However, its skull and jaw structure show some more primitive features, linking it not only to modern salmon, but also to the broader group of fishes from which salmonids evolved. It represents a crucial transitional form, a missing link in the evolutionary story of these remarkable fish. The discovery of Civuliosalmo fills a significant gap in the fossil record. For a long time, scientists have wondered about the origins of salmonids. We knew they must have evolved from an earlier group of fish, but the evidence was missing. Civuliosalmo provides that evidence. It shows that the salmon family tree has deep roots, stretching far back into the Cretaceous period. It is a foundational piece of the puzzle, helping us understand how and when this incredibly successful group of fish first appeared on our planet. It is a testament to the fact that even after centuries of exploration, the Earth still holds profound secrets, waiting patiently in the stone to be discovered. The world that inhabited was one of dramatic contrasts. 73 million years ago, the Arctic was not the permanent ice cap we know today. It was a region of profound environmental fluctuation. For parts of the year, it was a temperate forested landscape, with flowing rivers and lush vegetation lining the banks. However, because of its extreme northern latitude, this land was also plunged into months of complete darkness during the polar winter. Temperatures would have dropped significantly, and the rivers may have frozen over. Surviving in such an environment required incredible adaptability, a trait that has become a hallmark of the salmon family. This ancient salmon was a freshwater fish, living its entire life in the rivers of the far north. This is a crucial detail. Many of its modern descendants, like the Pacific salmon, are famous for their anadromous lifestyle, hatching in freshwater, migrating to the ocean to feed and grow, and then returning to their natal rivers to spawn. The discovery that the earliest known salmonid lived exclusively in freshwater suggests that this was the ancestral condition for the entire family. The epic ocean migrations that we associate with salmon today are a more recent evolutionary innovation, a strategy that developed later as these fish adapted to new opportunities and changing environments. The ability to thrive in these challenging Arctic conditions likely gave its descendants an evolutionary edge. The cold, oxygen-rich waters of polar rivers would have been an ideal habitat. By adapting to a life cycle that could withstand long, dark winters and fluctuating food availability, These early salmonids developed a resilience that would serve them well. This toughness is still evident in their modern relatives. Think of the sockeye salmon battling its way up a raging river, or the Arctic char that thrives in the coldest, most remote lakes on Earth. This capacity for survival was forged millions of years ago in the prehistoric Arctic. The presence of these fish also tells us something important about the ancient Arctic ecosystem itself. For a large fish like to thrive, the rivers must have been productive, supporting a rich food web of insects, crustaceans, and smaller fish. It, in turn, would have been a source of food for other animals. While we have no direct evidence, it is possible that some of the smaller meat-eating dinosaurs or even large predatory birds may have preyed on these ancient salmon. This discovery helps us to imagine a more complete, dynamic picture of life in the polar north during the age of dinosaurs, an ecosystem teeming with life both on land and in the water. Studying fossils as small and delicate as the remains presents a unique set of challenges. Many of the bones are tiny, some measuring just a few millimeters long, and they are embedded in hard rock. To examine them without causing damage requires tools that are far more advanced than the traditional hammer and chisel of the paleontologist. Modern science has provided us with remarkable technologies that allow us to peer inside these fossils, revealing their secrets in astonishing detail. This is where the microscope and the CT scanner become indispensable tools for discovery, bridging the gap between a simple fragment of bone and a deep understanding of an ancient life form. High-powered microscopes were essential from the very beginning. They allowed the scientists in the field to identify the fragments as fish bones in the first place. Back in the laboratory, these instruments enabled researchers to study the fine surface details of each fossil. They could see the tiny grooves and ridges where muscles once attached, or the specific shapes of joint surfaces. These anatomical landmarks are crucial for identifying the species and understanding its relationship to other fish. It is a slow, methodical process of comparison, matching the features of these ancient bones to the skeletons of their modern-day relatives, piece by piece, clue by clue. Perhaps the most powerful tool used in this study was microcomputed tomography, or micro-CT scanning. A CT scanner is a machine that uses X-rays to create a series of cross-sectional images of an object. When these images are put together by a computer, they form a perfect, three-dimensional digital model. By using a micro-CT scanner, which is designed for very small objects, the scientists were able to see inside the rock and visualize the fossils within it. This non-destructive technique allowed them to study the bones from every possible angle without ever having to physically remove them from the surrounding matrix, preserving the delicate fossils completely intact. With these digital 3D models, the scientists could do things that would have been impossible a generation ago. They could separate individual bones on the computer screen, reconstruct the skull, and even create physical replicas using 3D printers. This digital dissection provided unprecedented insight into the anatomy of. It confirmed that this fish possessed the unique combination of features that definitively place it at the base of the salmon family tree. This fusion of old bones and new technology is transforming the field of paleontology, allowing us to answer questions about the distant past with a level of precision and certainty that was once unimaginable. The discovery of is more than just a record-breaking fossil find. It fundamentally changes our understanding of evolution in the Arctic. It tells us that this region, which we often think of as a harsh and barren wasteland, has actually been a cradle of life, a place where major animal groups have originated and diversified. The salmon family did not move into the Arctic late in their history. They were born there. This revelation forces us to see the polar regions not as a periphery of life, but as a central stage in the grand drama of evolution. A place where resilience and adaptability are forged in the face of extreme environmental challenges. This ancient fish provides a baseline, a starting point from which we can trace the incredible evolutionary journey of salmon. From their freshwater beginnings in the rivers of the Cretaceous Arctic, the descendants have spread out across the northern hemisphere. They adapted to different climates, colonized new habitats, and evolved the remarkable life cycles we see today. Some, like the trout, remain primarily in fresh water. Others, like the Great Pacific salmon, developed the ability to migrate to the vast feeding grounds of the ocean, an adaptation that allowed them to grow much larger and become a keystone species in many ecosystems. Understanding this deep history is not merely an academic exercise. It has real-world implications for us today. Salmon are incredibly important, both ecologically and economically, but many populations around the world are facing threats from climate change, habitat loss, and overfishing. By learning how their ancestors survived periods of dramatic environmental upheaval in the past, we may gain crucial insights into how modern salmon might respond to the challenges of our own changing world. The story is a story of survival and adaptation written in stone, a legacy that continues in every salmon that swims in our rivers today. Ultimately, every fossil is a messenger from a lost world. The 73-million-year-old bones of this ancient Alaskan salmon speak of a time when dinosaurs walked the earth and the Arctic was a very different place. They tell a story of origins, of how a familiar group of fish began its long journey through time. It is a powerful reminder that the history of life on our planet is far richer and more surprising than we can imagine. And it fills us with a sense of wonder, knowing that beneath our feet, locked away in the ancient rocks, there are still so many more extraordinary stories waiting to be discovered.